everyone. Welcome back to the Alberta Roundup. I'm your host, Rachel Emmanuel. Today, we are joined by the infamous Landon Johnston. He is the man who started the petition to recall Calgary Mayor Jyoti Gondek. Landon, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
So, first and foremost, obviously, this is a pretty big feat that you've endeavored on. Can you explain sort of why you decided to try and recall the mayor?
I think like a lot of Calgarians, like we've been frustrated with the decisions and policies and basically the last 2 years of what's been going on in council. It's just been one thing after another that's not it's not making it easier for Calgarians to live or stay in Calgary. And then I just saw an opportunity to file a petition and I took it. I no one asked me to do it, and I thought I was going to be doing it by myself, like legit thought it was just going to be me. So
Yeah, so it's really been a grassroots effort. I'm assuming when you're saying she hasn't made it easy to live in the city, one of the things we can look to, for example, is her increase of the tax by 7.8%. That's an absolutely astronomical tax hike, especially when we're looking at the rising costs of pretty much everything right now. I'm also wondering specifically, just this last year, she tried to cancel Canada Day celebrations. What did you think about that?
I think if the mayor wants to be a cultural icon, because I find a lot of her decisions aren't based off of what's best for the city, but it seems that what's best for her. And if she wants to be a cultural icon, she doesn't have to be a mayor to do that. She can quit and just be the head of whatever she wants to be. It doesn't have to be a mayor. It just seems like a lot of those policies benefit her, and maybe like a small minority of Calgarians that agree with her. And that's just like people see right through it though. Like people are just sick of it. They're tired of it. And, call it what you want, woke agenda, whatever it is. It's not benefiting us. Like it's causing more division amongst us, like Calgarians and Canadians. And we're done with it. Like I think we're fed up with it. And it's just, this is an opportunity to let them know, like, hey, like stick to the issues and stop trying to make this about something that we don't actually care about. Like again, it's just such a small minority of people that actually care that the mayor is taking it upon herself to push these agendas. But really, it's hard to live in Calgary. Like there's so many Calgarians on like the brink of bankruptcy or on the brink of losing their house, or like it's just like they're so obtuse on their policy decisions. Like it's just like one little tax after another. It just adds up. And just think of like fixed income Calgarians. Like they can't afford to live here. Like it's Canada itself is becoming like the inflation by itself is insane. But then it's just, yeah, like I said, like just the taxes this council has like implemented on us is just like a death by a thousand cuts. And we've
Right.
had enough of it. So
When you talk about regular Calgarians having enough of this, what do you yourself do for a living, and how have you found the time to work on this petition? Are you away from work right now? Are you taking time off, doing it after hours? What does your regular day look like right now as you're seeking to get almost half a million, or sorry, well over half a million signatures?
I mean, I didn't plan on doing what we're doing right now. Like I legit was just gonna go on Saturdays and to my neighbors and just collect signatures, maybe try to get like 3,000-4,000 in 60 days. So the fact that this turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought it would be, has forced me to adjust my priorities. I do HVAC, so that includes furnaces, ACs, service work. So last week I was able to install 3 air conditioners. So that I made some money last week, and then this week I've had some service calls here and there. But I just find like I can if I go to a house in Calgary, I'll just go to like 10 or 11 neighbors on either side of the house I'm doing a service call at and get signatures. And then if I go to the grocery store, I'll get signatures. And then any free time like I would normally have in the winter, I'd just be playing video games or um, you know dinking around in the garage. And so this has actually given me a lot of purpose for what I would normally not be doing a lot in the winter time. So it's been fun for me. Like it's been stressful, but meeting people and like listening to like people that also agree with what I'm doing has been a lot of fun and very rewarding. Like as an HVAC guy, like I go to a house and I troubleshoot an issue and finding a fix for a problem is very rewarding. And so what this petition to me is like I found an issue and I'm working on troubleshooting and finding solution for it. And there's a lot of other people out there that are helping with me with that solution. And again, that's rewarding to me. Like I enjoy fixing problems or at
How
least trying
many
to
other
fix them.
people are actually like working on the campaign with you?
Yeah, it's impossible to know the exact number, but I mean, um, again, it's just me, and then all these other organizations had planned on doing this, and I had no idea until they contacted me the day of the petition was certified, and they were like, "Hey, Landon, we've got hundreds of volunteers, and we've got website developers and all this stuff." So I was like, "Hey, have at it! Like, you don't need my permission to get signatures. Just bring the signatures to me when you're done." So it's in the hundreds, probably five, six, 700 people that have signed up to volunteer either to canvas or do admin work or help on the website. So it's a huge amount of people that have been doing this for free. Like I don't have any money. Like we're not all the money that's been spent on this is can't come from my bank account, at least on my end of it. Like these other organizations had the infrastructure in place. And I just said, you know what, do whatever you guys got to do to get signatures and just make sure it's legal. And yeah, so far
Right.
it's hundreds of people. Yeah,
So you have
hundreds.
hundreds of people working to gather the signatures. As I mentioned, it's over 514,000 signatures that are needed. That's more people than even voted for a mayoral candidate in the 2021 election. Do you think that this is a fair parameter? And how certain are you that you guys are going to be able to get all those signatures?
It's impossible. It's just statistically impossible. Even if you had unlimited resources, unlimited helpers, the pool of signatures is like 630,000 potential Calgarians that could sign this, but that doesn't take into account um, like there's like 30, 40, 50,000 Calgarians who do not speak English. So like you have to find people that can communicate with those people to sign the petition. There's elderly that you can't like ethically go into like a hospice house to get signatures. Like it's just like the pool shrinks and shrinks and shrinks the more you think about it because the statistics came from 2019 and those people have moved away since the last census or 2019. And then it doesn't include people that have lived here less than 6 months. You just think about just how diverse the city is. Like there's a lot of boundaries. So I'm just saying like that 600,000 number shrinks down and down and down almost to below the 514,000 signature threshold, right? So it's impossible, but that was
So is
my
it
biggest.
mostly about sending a message at this
Yeah,
point?
it's to be honest, it's about sending a message about the petition itself because it's impossible. It was never meant to be 40% of the entire population. If you look through the bill readings and the select committee's recommendations, the recommendations were like 35% or 30% even of the eligible population that can actually vote. And that's possible. Like that's easy to do. If you have someone who's unfavorable enough, 35% would be enough to recall that elected official. But let's say you have elected official who is favorable, like 50% or something. So that threshold of 35%, you could potentially file that petition, but it would work that, hey, this is a favorable mayor or favorable elected official. So you're literally going to waste your time and money trying to kick him out. But the petition was designed to get rid of mayors or elected officials that were not doing their job. Um, and if we have the least favorable mayor in potentially the history of Calgary, we have unlimited resources potentially and unlimited helpers because it turns out people from outside of Calgary can now volunteer. we were under the impression that only Calgarians could help us. But now the pool of volunteers has grown exponentially because yesterday we found out people outside of Calgary can come in and help us canvass, get signatures. They just have to be a Canadian citizen and over 18. So like I said, with all their resources and I like I just want to prove that this would be impossible. Like I want to prove like even everything we have, it's impossible to implement this at such a large scale. And hopefully they'll change it.
So, Calgary Mayor Jyoti Gondek responded to these recall efforts. She said it stings a little bit. And she also warned Calgarians who signed the petition that she isn't sure whether their information will be kept private. We're going to play that clip for you guys now.
Now you've got a recall opportunity where people will be disclosing their personal information to an individual. And I'm not really sure how confidentially that will be kept or what will happen with that information.
Landon, what's your response to her, I guess, fear-mongering tactic here?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like like she's basically pointing out the flaw of the petition that was designed by the government. Like, it is a lot of information. We need signature, full name, address, either your phone number or your email address. Like that's more information than I would want to give the government. Because I've had my identity stolen, and all I can tell people is like that's just a mayor being afraid and using fear to sow division. Because I've had people say, Landon, I really want to sign this petition, but I don't want to give up my information. And I'm just like, I understand, like that's scary, but the only people that are going to retain this information are going to be the people we hand it into, right? Because by law we have to destroy all records once it's handed into us, and I have no intention of retaining anyone's information. Like that would be breaking the law, and I don't want to go to jail. So all I can say is we have no intention of using anyone's data, and it's actually the government that you should be afraid of, because we have to hand this into them, and I don't know what they're going to do with it, because I asked for the records of the chain of custody once these are handed in. And hopefully that they're destroyed, because I believe it says in the legislation that it will be destroyed after the 45 days of certification is up. So again, she's using the fear of the rules against Calgarians, which isn't fair, because the government already has all that information. You're not giving us any information that you haven't already given up to the government, right? Like that's just what they need to verify the signature. So if they call you, I think they said they call like 3 or 4% of the total signatures to verify that you are who you say you are and signed it or whatever. So, but yeah, as far as I know, the rest of the information is destroyed or has to be destroyed.
So just my last question for you here. How much longer, or I guess 2 questions rather, how much longer do people have to sign the petition, and where can they get updates and learn where to sign it?
So we have a website, recallmayorgondek.com, and so that'll have the nearest locations where you can sign. So basically it'll be updated hopefully every day. And then the most important thing, it'll have your nearest commissioner. So if you have finished petitions, we're asking, like, even if it's just like 10, 12 people that have signed it, hand it into a commissioner, and then they'll give you more petitions, or you can download more petitions. It's just we can't really get an official count until people start handing in petitions, and we're asking people to do it regularly instead of waiting till the last week, because that's going to be a gong show for us trying to collect all the petitions that are out there. So yeah, go to the website. There's hopefully all the information you need. We're updating it and refining it every day. There is a Twitter account, Recall Gondek YYC, where we'll be posting like updated locations. And I just want to say a lot of businesses have stepped up, and it's weird. I never thought it would be brave, but I feel like it's been brave of a lot of businesses and individuals to step up, because a lot of people are scared. They're scared of retribution by the city for signing this or being a part of it, which terrifies me, because it was never about being brave, but I guess like it does take a bit of courage to like go against the government. But I mean, this is an opportunity for us as citizens to really voice our opinion and let them know, like, this isn't the way it's going to be from now on, right? Like, I've been getting calls from all over North America, and people keeping an eye on this, because if they see that people have a voice and have the courage and strength to fight, then there's other like locations right across the world that are going to see this, that it's possible to fight and stand up against policies that are degrading and destroying our way of life, right? Like, so like it's huge. Like, it can be huge. It just takes a little bit of courage to put yourself out there and sign it, or convince your loved ones or friends or family to be like, hey, don't be scared to sign it. Like, we need this. We need these signatures. We need you to get out. And it seems like a small thing just to sign it. But in the end, like, it's going to be huge. Like, we're going to have a large number of people. Like, we're just getting started. Like, it's taken time to put teams together and door knockers and businesses. And I mean, we have 5 weeks left, which isn't a lot. Like, we're up against the clock, but we're just kind of getting the ball rolling. Like, it's now we're out there. We're at plus 15s. We're at grocery stores, getting kicked out of libraries and really pushing the limits to where we can and can't get signatures. Because, I think it's important for the next people to file petitions to know what the boundaries are, right? Like, if you can't go where the public congregates, then again, this just makes it that much harder to get signatures. So
Right. Absolutely. Well, we look forward to following this story with interest over the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for joining us today, Landon.
thanks, Rachel.
All right, everyone. That's all we have time for today. As always, please like this video and subscribe to True North. We will be back with more content on Saturday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. God bless.